Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the Acer Predator XB283K. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor during the unboxing, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But let's get it unboxed. Now you can see we have a little front sticker right there, but let's get this thing open. This is one of the cheapest 4K gaming monitors with high refresh rate. This thing retails for $630. That is a really good price. So if you want 4K and high refresh rate, gaming monitor, this is going to be one of your cheapest alternatives to the $1,000+ 4K gaming monitors right now. So opening it up, this is a top open. You have color calibration results, which is very cool, especially on this, honestly, pretty budget friendly. I wouldn't say budget friendly because it's still expensive at $630, but for 4K high refresh rate panels, this is a very good price. All right, so laying this down, there we go. Okay, so not an internal power brick or power supply. So we do have this external power brick. It is kind of a nice brick, but it is fairly large, but the cable is going to be long, so that is nice. And this is the other end of the power cable right there. Then you have a manual and like a Predator, I don't know what is that. It's like a premium service, maybe that's a warranty card. And then we have a DisplayPort cable, an HDMI cable. This is probably a 2.1, but I'm not 100% sure. And then a USB Type-B, which means there's probably some USBs inside of this thing, which is awesome. Okay, then there's a piece of tape kind of holding the two pieces together. So we're gonna undo that. And then we have the stand right here. Now I haven't used an Acer monitor in a long time, but this is all a single piece of metal, rubber on the bottom. It's attractive, it's nice looking, and it's got a high quality thumb screw in the bottom. So honestly, I'm pretty dang impressed with this. It has a nice texture, a nice feel to it. Feels high quality. Let's get the actual panel out. So then we have the rest of the stand right here. Very interesting packaging. Okay, and then pulling the stand out, here we are, a very interesting style looking stand. I mean, it kind of goes from small to big. It kind of reminds me of like a Fortnite gun. Kind of funny. It's kind of like cartoony how it happens, but it's got that cable channel down through there. Looks like because this is circular that it probably has swivel. Don't quote me on that. And then it definitely has tilt and height adjustability. And then remove this before use. I'm not sure what this is. What is that? Is this like a headphone stand? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, and then to put these stands together, we're just gonna line those up and then screw that right in. Now the stand itself is weird. I'm gonna say that right away. It's weird. These don't really match too well right here. I don't know if you can see that, but like this doesn't color match this. This is kind of a different color. This is like a metally and this is like a black. However, if that's the price we paid for a $630 high refresh rate 4K panel, I'm down for it. So it does have swivel, as you can see right here. Not a ton, but it has it. This could be really good. 630 bucks, guys. All right, let's get this thing on the desk. Looks like we can just pull this back right here and just set your stand in the top. Press it down and we're good to go here. Oh, let's bring it to the desk and pull this off. Man, look at the back of this monitor. Okay, so we got some plastic right here. Gonna peel that off. Man, what a weird looking monitor. This has gotta be one of the weirdest looking monitors ever that we've had on the channel, but I don't mind it. Okay, so right over here, kind of similar to Dell, we've got this kind of joystick, which is good, a dedicated on and off button, and then some other menu buttons right here. Kensington lock. Very interesting, kind of this like metally finish right here. And the interesting thing is that metally finish is around the edges as well, which is a very weird thing, something that we haven't seen. Okay, but continuing with the back here, this may be a headstand. Haley might be right about that. And then we've got two HDMIs, a DisplayPort, a USB-C, which it looks like. That's very interesting. And then a USB Type-B, two USB Type-A's, and then a 3.5mm audio out. That's a lot of ports. And then over here, we've got two more USB Type-A's on the right side. I would have preferred them like Dell does them under here, but this is still a good placement where it's more accessible. That's very cool. Okay, but then let's flip this thing over to the front. And I'm gonna say the obvious right now. This chin is massive. This has gotta be the biggest chin I have ever seen on any monitor. It sticks out so far. That is so strange. I don't mind it though. We got a little bit of plastic right here. Let's peel this away. Is this gonna light up? This looks like it has like sensors or something. Is that like a light sensor? Huh, very interesting. Okay, very interesting with this massive chin down here. But the monitor overall, it looks funny, but it doesn't look bad. But now that it's on the desk, let's get it fully set up. We're gonna do an initial impressions of the menu system, the overall monitor itself, what it can do, and then we're gonna do a gaming test, initial impressions, and a ghosting test. This will be very interesting, comparing it to other more expensive 4K high refresh rate panels. Let's do it. All right guys, now with it on the desk, let's get it turned on. It's gonna be the top button back here. Not my favorite placement, but not too terrible. Okay, turning on. Now the interesting thing is I want to know what these sensors are. That's going to be in the full review, but these sensors are interesting. They're very cool. For a second, I thought it maybe lit up in a Predator logo, but no. All right, guys, and it is up. Now, the first thing that you realize is there was a whole lot of PPI here. Pixels per inch, there's a lot, okay? High density pixels. All of the small text is very, very clear, which is great. So this is a 28-inch screen size, which means very high PPI. And in my book, 32 inches at 4K is the perfect screen size for resolution. This is kind of overkill, but it's not gonna hurt anything. Okay, but let's go right into display settings. We are at 3840 by 2160, AKA 4K, and we're running at 60 Hertz. Let's bump it up to full 144 Hertz at $630. That's kind of crazy to say. Okay, so now it is very, very smooth. The input lag, from a feeling perspective, feels pretty fast, but again, that's gonna be in the full review. Then let's go into NVIDIA control panel, and we're gonna see if this thing can output 10 bits of color at full 144 Hertz, and it looks like it can. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, but it is pretty dim right now, so let's go into the menu system and first see how the menu system is, because I haven't used an Acer monitor in a long time. So there we go. The picture settings, this is not the best menu system out there at all. So it does have HDR, the light sensing, which is probably what at least one of those sensors in there is. Max brightness. They have like an on and off for max brightness. We definitely want that on. Okay. So is that just an on and off? There's no rocker. Okay, so there is a rocker up there. The brightness, very cool. Okay, so at this point, max brightness, it looks pretty good, but let's do a test of it, because why not? And again, this is not gonna be fully accurate. This is not gonna take the average. So this is just gonna be an overall test. 340, 335 nits. That is a pretty good brightness. This is about what we've been seeing on like the Gigabyte M32U. That was a similar type of brightness, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that's about what I would say. It's a good vibrant brightness. It's not overly bright. I like my monitors overly bright. I like them very bright. So this isn't my perfect, but at $630, it is basically just about perfect what most people are going to say this is perfect. I like my monitors super bright, but again, we do have that HDR, which we're going to go through and we're going to test. But we're not done with the menu system yet. So we have color, we have audio. So I'm not sure if this has a sound system built into it. I don't believe it does, but you never know. And then gaming, FreeSync is on. You can display your refresh rate. Now the overdrive settings are locked right here. And that's probably because of maybe the picture profile. I'm not exactly sure. And then we have some system stuff. So the menu system overall is pretty easy to use. Do have HDMI 2.1 right there, which is great. So for console gaming, absolutely on both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X or S. So there's a lot of good things going on here. The menu system is okay, it's fine, and it works. But again, I'm gonna play around with that a lot more, go through every setting, and that's gonna be in the full review. So subscribe below if you're not already subscribed. It's gonna be coming out in a few days, but let's get in game, see how this thing games, and then we're gonna do the ghosting test. Okay, so guys, right away, as you can hear, it does have internal speakers, so that's pretty cool. We are gonna turn this down a little bit. They don't get very loud at all. However, it's cool that they have them inside, and again, we'll go through that in the full review. Okay, but jumping right in game. G-Sync is on right now. I do not know if this is a G-Sync compatible NVIDIA certified or what this is. So we'll have to see there. However, I can tell you right away, it is incredibly clear. Now this is overly clear, but not overly clear. It's very, very clear, more clear than I think that we'll be able to actually see. However, that's not a bad thing. It's just that I think a 32-inch screen size at 4K is the perfect, but again, you cannot beat that $630 price point, which is what we're hopefully going to come to the conclusion of by the end of the review, which again is coming out in a few days. I'm hoping that's the case. As far as ghosting, I mean, just looking at this looks crystal clear, but again, you have no idea until you do one of those specific tests for it, so we'll have to see that. But it is a very crisp, very beautiful, especially for games where you have to look far away. This is really, really good. If you've never used something like this before, it is very nice. Now the brightness, we're in a very bright room right now. It's a good brightness. It's not overly bright, like I said, so you're not gonna be like blinded by this thing. However, it is a nice brightness where it's still gonna be vibrant. Similar to a bunch of monitors that we've been testing recently have only been about 350 nits. But yeah, the gaming experience is fantastic. We're not seeing any like weird screen tearing or anything like that. G-Sync's on and feels like it's working right, looks like it's working right. As far as the input lag, just from a feeling stance, this feels slightly slower than the Gigabyte M32U, but it still feels very, very fast. But again, this is all feeling, so refer to the full review coming out in a few days if you want the actual results. But man, especially with maps where you look out over there, and this is perfectly clear. Such a special experience. It really is. Okay guys, but I think that's enough gaming. Let's now do the ghosting test, because this is what's going to decide whether this is a good monitor or it is not the monitor to get. Okay, and up on the screen right away there is a tiny, teeny, the smallest amount of ghosting. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's basically unnoticeable, and like I said, in game it looked crystal clear. But let's go into settings and test the overdrive settings, which I think that we're going to have to turn off. So we're in eco mode right now. I'm not sure exactly how to change all of those. I'm gonna go in here, and then I'm gonna go to the top one, which is that one. Okay, so these are the different modes: standard mode, eco mode, graphics mode, HDR, user, sport, racing, and action. I'm just gonna go into the standard mode and see if I can then change the settings. This menu system is not my favorite. Then I'm going to go down to gaming, and overdrive is still off, as you can see right here. So we're gonna have to change it to a different setting, which we'll try action G1. There's a crosshair in the middle, so you do have crosshairs if you want them. We're gonna go ahead and turn those off. So first set this to 100%, and the overdrive is still off. I'm not sure what we have to do to turn that on. That is really strange. I doubt FreeSync has to be off, but we'll try it. Yeah, and then when FreeSync's off, you can change the overdrive settings, which is weird. Right now, I don't know if that's exactly how it is, but that will be in the full review. I'm gonna go through and test everything, but we can see this is in the extreme setting. There is quite a bit of pixel overshooting or inverse ghosting, so this is not the one to set it in, which is pretty typical of most monitors. But now let's go into, so there's extreme, normal, and off. So in off, there is ghosting, but still barely any at all. Then in normal, there's basically no ghosting. That's what you should leave it in all the time. Very, very clear. This is basically on par with the Gigabyte M32U, which is fantastic. But guys, $630. I think the Gigabyte M32 retails for $800. This thing, $630, 28-inch screen size. The panel overall, from just the unboxing, it seems like there could be nothing wrong with it. It seems like it doesn't do anything incredible except resolution and ghosting, so it doesn't have insanely high brightness, but it does come pre-calibrated for colors. There's a lot of cool things with this monitor, and the biggest thing is that price point. This is probably one of the cheapest 4K high refresh rate panels that you can find, and it doesn't compromise on ghosting. This could be really great. Okay, again, if you wanna check it out, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. A full review will be coming out very soon of this thing. I am very excited about this one. This could be a great monitor to get into that 4K high refresh rate gaming market. If you have the extra money, I'm gonna tell you right now, I prefer the Gigabyte M32U because of that bigger screen size, but there is no denying the difference in price, $630. That is amazing. All right, but this is Type C Tech Reviews. I'll see you guys in the full review. Cheers.